It's Blake's Buzz Live. Hate less, read comics. It's Blake's Buzz Live.
Buzz, buzz, babies.
Hey! I forgot to bring myself in almost. Wasn't that fun? Happy Wednesday, happy new comic book day, babies. Yes, I hope you noticed your boy is matching in Spider-Man gear. I hope you don't miss the hot dog hat too much. I had to switch it up. Been wearing that hat a lot. So I'm not just hot dogs. I'm a person made up of a lot of hot dogs because your boy's been eating a lot of hot dogs. We're not here to talk about hot dogs. I know you probably think we do because we unfortunately have talked about we fortunately talked about hot dogs. Anyway, hot dogs are great. So are comics. I hope you all went out to some comic shops and supported some indie comics and some amazing retailers today. Because what else are you going to do on a Wednesday? Work? That's gross. Stay home, buy comics. That's what you got to do. All right. So before we I have some amazing guests and amazing anthology and a Kickstarter project and awesome stuff to talk about and like good reasoning behind it, and just I guess we got some good feel good shit to bring on tonight. But first we got to talk about some ads and fun stuff. All right, first up, some of the comics that I am working on right now. Crossover Division number 8 by Will Allred is coming back to Kickstarter. The 8th issue, your favorite protagonists that are literary infused. I'm supposed to say literary infused protagonists, but I said it backwards, but that's okay because it's my show and I make the rules. Hank and Hector are coming up against Sherlock Holmes in this new issue, but this is not going to be a normal romp on Baker Street. No. It is going to be a wild and crazy time on Kickstarter, and if you sign up for that pre-launch page right now, guess what that means? That means you won't miss access to this gorgeous Tula Lote variant that is being offered during the campaign. I think that's pretty cool because you don't see a lot of Tula Lote variants on Kickstarter. Next up, I'm also working on Ruination. The second arc is coming to an end. The emotions are high. The stakes are higher. Everything is crazy. It's such a wonderful issue. I'm so excited about it. I know some of you are thinking right now, what? 12 issues? That's a lot of books to read. Exactly. But check this out. If you go to the pre-launch page right now, you can download the first issue for free. You can get some epic, indie, fantasy, magical goodness on any device you want. Read it, check it out, see if it's your jam or not. If it's your jam, follow the campaign, come hang out with us on launch. We're going to have great ways to catch up, hardcovers, soft covers, whole bunch of cool shit for you to check out. I love this book. I reviewed it way back in the day before Blake's Buzz was even a thing. So like kind of working on the campaign is like a kind of surreal, cool experience for me, which is rad. Anyways, check it out. It's a cool book. I would appreciate it. Also, it kind of shows that I'm doing a good job. To my boss. Finally, this one's a little bit different. This is not a comic book. Booked for Life is a book on coaching. Blake, we are not life coaches. I'm a comic book creator. I know. But check this out. The book itself may not be for you, right? But we're going to have a series of add-on courses about marketing your book. Brian Cohen is a stellar marketer, right? So you can check out this campaign and you can back courses that are like pretty much like Zoom lectures that go over marketing your book, how to sell your book on Amazon, how to sell your book in certain markets, things like that. It's very, very cool. May interest some of you trying to, marketing your book's tough. It's whether you're on Kickstarter, the direct market, whether you're doing it on a website or one of the numerous digital platforms, so I encourage you to maybe look into that and maybe help out on your next launch. Speaking of launch, are you a creator with a comic or passion project that you aren't sure where to start with crowdfunding? Well, check this out. Blake's Buzz and Laguna Studios are here to help. From campaign planning and page design to marketing, fulfillment strategy, and full service campaign management, we've got your back. Reach out, hit us up. We'd love to build something with you. Things are tough out there, and it's okay to ask for help. Okay, cool. I've said my spiel. Now we got some cool people to bring out. Who are we going to bring out first? One day I'll pick the order of guests like beforehand, but I kind of like to do it live to surprise people. All right. Let's just go. All right, let's do it. All right, here we go. Hold on. We gotta get stuff queued up here. All right. Okay. So our first, oh my goodness. So I need a producer and one of those things that like the president has to read from, but he can't read words. The teleprompter. I need a teleprompter, like really bad. All right. First up, this person has written Gotham City Sirens, X Factor, Exterminators, and they're currently rocking it over at Ignition Press with an amazing indie comic called Voyeur. Let's bring her out. It's Leah Williams. Oh my goodness. Whoa. Whoa. Calm down back there, folks. Leah, how's it going?
Pretty good. Thank you for the enthusiastic welcome.
I'm pretty good at enthusiasm. I just love comics so damn much. They're so neat. They're so wonderful. You know, not only are they a gateway into pop culture and just culture in general, but like a wonderful way to tell stories that kind of just makes your mind interact with them differently. And it's a magical feeling. Right?
Totally.
Is that why you do comics?
Oh yeah, I love the medium. I think it is I don't know. It's just one of the most unique artistic mediums where like reading comics makes you a better person. It makes you better at thinking because you're using your brain in two different ways at the same time, because you're not only reading the text, but you also are interpreting the visual data of the art. And I think like that's why comics are such a unique experience versus, you know, like playing a game is a unique experience, that kind of thing. Comics are their own medium, and it's just, I don't know, it's fascinating to work within, especially as a, you know, collaborative medium too.
Hell yeah, good answer. See, you should watch yourself. In the green room, Leah was talking about how she doesn't pay attention to like a lot of interviews. Like once they come out, and some of the other creators kind of said the same. Like not a big fan of like hearing themselves, but if you say smart stuff like that, I would clip that and put those on my own face. Like list, like send them to my mom and be like, Mom, I'm smart.
The cost is like, I also say dumb shit at about the same rate. So it's a 50-50 chance of whether or not you're going to get the savant or the idiot.
Fair.
From an idiot savant.
I've followed you on Instagram for a while. You are a meme master, and I love it. And yeah, no, I see that. But that's awesome, and I love that you put that complexity in your writing. You can bring like the heavy emotions. You can get silly with it simultaneously. Your stories are always so fun to read. We'll get back to more of how awesome you are and your co-creators that we're bringing out. But we do have a few more people to bring out. So let's see here. Let's all right. Let's go. Let's get this queued up. Oh man, I need to learn hotkeys. There's got to be hotkeys on this thing, right? Anyway, all right. This next guest is actually a good friend of mine, even though I can never remember his last name. He's an amazing designer and illustrator over at Oni, and he's also worked on and drew some amazing indie comic books like the Not Forgotten anthology and All the Devils Are Here. Let's get this dude out. It's Matt Harding. Oh my goodness. Whoa. Matt, welcome back to the show, buddy.
Hello. How
How's
you
it
doing?
going? Good. I was so excited when Tyler sent me a list of who was going to be on the show, and then like 2 days later, he sent me a message, and he goes, "Matt Harding wants to know if he can come on. Is that okay?" And I was like, "Yes, of course."
I think my favorite quote now is, "I'm not just hot dogs." Is that what you said? I'm a man. I'm not just hot dogs.
I got to start writing this shit down because I got to make new t-shirts.
Yeah.
The Love More, Hate Less, Read Comics t-shirts sold very well. If I would have known they would have sold so well, I would not have used a website like TeePublic. I lost a huge margin of money. Anyway, that's fine. But they
were happy at least.
Yeah, it's but yeah, a lot of people have been telling me like, Blake, we need new shirts, and I keep dropping. Richard Fairgray was on a couple weeks ago, and he said all glizz no riz. He was like, you can take that. I was like, I will. I sure will. How's it going? How's life, buddy?
You know, same old, pretty good.
Hell yeah.
Just doing my thing.
Doing any secret stuff over at Oni you can't talk about?
Secret stuff? Yeah, I mean, there's lots of it, but, you know.
Yeah.
It's secret. I'll give you my Venmo. You could start passing me.
Nice. Post it in the chat. We'll share it.
Yeah.
What's before we bring out the next guest, I haven't got to play it yet, but I just picked up Star Fox.
Oh yeah.
And I'm really excited about it. And you've been doing a lot of Star Fox. You're tinkering with a Star Fox zine or something over there.
Yeah. I did it just for fun, you know, because I had a little bit of time between projects. But yeah, I made like a zine, a little story, you know.
That's awesome.
So cool.
Actually, I mean, if you want to see the actual pages, I do have those here. Hey, check this one out. It was just something I was doing for fun. Like me and a couple other people were talking about. I don't know. Actually, is that blurring? It's blurring.
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, there it goes. Oh, that's so sick.
If I put my face by it, it'll unblur.
That's
That's
rad.
And we're putting together a zine, but I wanted to finish the story first before like offering other positions, like if anybody wants to contribute, you know.
Yeah.
So we had a little something. So yeah, we have me and Winston Gambro have something
you
going
guys.
on. Yeah,
he's a neat dude. I like that guy.
Yeah, like there's this one. That's one of my favorite. So I put my face here somewhere so it unblurs. There we go. Ah, wait. Ah, there it is.
You'd be a terrible like.
This is horrible
influencer.
content. I don't know. You're gonna have to cut this whole thing.
Could you imagine like Matt trying to sell stuff on Instagram? Like,
yes, it's all blurry.
If you use my code, you can get this unknown object. All right, I love you.
Well, I can tell you one thing that's happening.
Okay,
is that I'm doing a store exclusive for an Oni cover or an Oni comic.
Ooh.
I'm doing for Cosmic Monkey. I'm doing an Archie cover, Archie #1.
Hell yeah,
That's what I'm working on right now.
that's so cool. I'm a big fan of store. I spend so much money on store exclusives. I am very much a recovering variant addict, and I'm really glad I got through that because it was rough. It was rough for a while.
Did I just
especially when
you...
I found David Nakayama for a while. David Nakayama did not have DC and Marvel like a real contract. So David Nakayama, if you wanted David Nakayama covers, how many times can I say David Nakayama in this sentence? A lot. But if you wanted a cover of his, they cost like $20-$25 because they were a store exclusive. You got to pay for shipping. And then I found out about the Virgin covers, and I was like, I don't want I don't want logos on my cover. Let's pay more money. See, I got a lot of that stuff. But I'm glad you're doing it. I won't buy it, but I support it. I love you though.
I'll have copies of it. What if I gave you a discount, huh?
Oh, if you gave it
Venmo,
a discount,
I'll put my Venmo in the chat.
Yeah,
just get you hooked right up.
Yeah, and then and if you signed it, I'd probably do that. Okay, which we got other guests in the green room. Matt, we can't just sit out here and talk to each other. All right, we could, but we can't. We won't. That's not polite. All right, check this out. The next guest, this person was part of the Milestone Initiative in 2022. He wrote Ancestral Recall over at Ahoy Comics, and now he's working on this amazing anthology. Let's get him out here. It's Jordan Clark. What's up, sir? Yes, let's go. Louder. Give me my money. All right.
I feel like I was at a con. What was that when The Rock got like a 20-minute ovation for that movie?
Yeah.
I feel like, yeah.
That's how I try and make you guys feel special here. That's the.
I like how the applause just cuts. Like it's not even like a gradual cut. It just cuts like bluntly.
I don't know what kind of production level you think we have over here, Matt, but it's just me. It's just me. I appreciate your confidence, Jordan. How's your night? How's your day? How's your life as a comic book reader? What the fuck?
It's going pretty good. In addition to comics, I also work at my local library, and we just had a dinosaur puppet show. So
sweet, you're a hero. Are you like? What do you do at the library? Are you a librarian? What do you do at the library?
Yeah, I'm the children's librarian.
Dude, you're a double hero. That is so cool. Yeah. No, librarians are like librarians and teachers, like unsung heroes of the world. I everything you do, especially like right now when it feels like so many people are trying to take books away from people, especially like children. And I love that all of you are like kind of raging against that machine. Did you go to ALA? Did you get to do any of that fun stuff?
I unfortunately did not get to go to ALA this year, but maybe next year.
Yeah, someone get him out there. I don't know how that happens, but get this guy out there. No, that's cool. Before we bring out our final guest, what's your favorite part about like being a librarian focused on younger readers? What's the best thing about your job?
Oh boy. I mean, as a comic creator, picture books are kind of like the beginner step into that. So, I love being able to just read not only just the latest picture books, but also like, I think from my perspective as a former teacher now turned librarian, people don't give kids enough credit for their general intelligence, emotional intelligence, and just general creativity. So being able to work with kids and kind of see them, again, connect the dots in real time, to see them kind of find inspiration in the books that they're reading or in the programs that we're doing, is always just really rewarding and inspiring. I'd much rather be doing that than adding numbers to some billionaire's spreadsheet. So
I would too. I no billionaire would want me anywhere near their spreadsheet. For one, I'm like you put me. I'm a bull in a china shop in Excel. I will ruin everything and on accident, and I apologize prematurely. I would prematurely apologize if you send me an Excel. You'll have to walk me through it. I just built a computer. Like, I'm not dumb. But you put Excel in front of me, my brain cell, you can like see them leak out of my ear. It's crazy.
It's a different skill for very specific people.
I tried to get a job as a librarian assistant once, and I did not know how competitive you all are. I walked in there thinking, it's just an assistant, right? I could do this, right? And it was a warehouse. There was like 400 people in there, all reciting decimal shit, and I was just like, oh my god, I got steamrolled out of there. Just right out. It was horrible.
Try again. You never know.
Yeah, that's true. I've heard it's akin slightly to like fireman job, like, because a lot of times you can apply as a fireman and you don't get in, and they tell you the same thing. They're like, try again during like the next period or the next whatever plant things they have, like they do like recruitment stuff. But I've heard like at libraries, if you're like trying to get into it and it doesn't happen the first time, like, if it's something you really want, you're really passionate about, don't quit. Like, keep trying. Mm-hmm. So that's true. I'm not just full of shit. Sweet.
True.
True.
Clip this. Someone clip this. I'm hanging on the refrigerator. All right. We got a couple more people to bring out, but just real quick, we got people saying hi in the chat. Kenneth, what's up, dude? Thank you so much for tuning in. Mad Prophet, Tommy, they did Tyler was on his show last night. Mine's gonna be so much better. Tommy, I love you, but they're gonna have so much more fun. I'm just kidding. I love you. What's up, Joe? Joe's in the chat saying thanks for appreciating the Spider-Man gear. John Westoff, everybody check out Part Time Comics. They're making cool indie comics. What's up, Kurt? Thank you so much. James, thank you. I don't know what I said, but I'm glad it sounded smart. I assume it was me. It's my show, so I'm just going to assume everything Smart said was me. Kev, what's up? Thank you so much, everybody. All right, did we get everybody? What's up? It's Andy. If you guys like video games, follow Andy. He does a really great video game podcast, and he sees the future. He knows. He predicts like a lot of all this crazy stuff that happens in video games. He's been talking about for like 2 weeks before everybody. Anyway, we're out here talking about video games. We're talking here to guess about a comic book. I see a butterfly, I chase it. I'm sorry. This is everybody. That's how the show goes. I'll chase some butterflies. All right, let's bring out another guest. Here we go. This writer has been a part of the Deadbeats anthology and also wrote Queen of Bad Dreams, Quarter Killer, and some James Bond. Hell yeah! Let's bring out Danny Lowe. What is up?
Hey everybody, how you doing?
How are you?
I'm doing all right. How you?
I'm good. Nice to meet you. I've seen you around the comic space for a while. Both you and Vita working together and collabing, making the internet a better place and putting little assholes
You mean yelling at people over
Yes.
things while I play video games? Yes, you are correct.
I appreciate your service, though. But anyway, it's cool to finally meet you. I've read your stuff, seen you around. Very, very stoked to have you on the show. Happy to talk to you. And very cool. It was cool to see your name on this project because I was like, yeah. Like I felt like I mean, all of the creators on this project have stuff to say. You're very vocal online, and I appreciate how you are just like. Some people worry about what they say in comics because it's like, oh, will I if I say this, will like someone not want me on like working with them or not? And I always appreciate how you're like, this is what I believe, this is what I feel, this is how it should be, and you put it out there, and I love that about you.
I mean, my logic generally is when I speak, if someone wouldn't want to work with me because of what I said, would I want to work with them? Obviously the longer I work, the kind of more freedom I have for that. But I was really fortunate to have friends like Leah, like Vita, who very early on, before I was in a position where I could, I could speak for myself in the industry, were like, we're not going to let anyone take advantage of you in very active ways. And my logic is, what kind of person and creator would I be if I didn't pay that forward, even to strangers, I guess? Like I have a space in comics because people who were willing to sit next to me. My soda seems to be imploding. Anyway, like, and if that, it's only right to, kind of give that space back to other people. And that usually involves me being really loud so that other people don't have to.
Well, I in a time where as I'm sure some of the shorts in this anthology mentioned, and we're in a time right now where a lot of people are quiet when they shouldn't be, right? Whether that's out of fear or out of greed or out of like not caring, but there's a lot of people that are quiet, that that's like the new thing of like when famous people are like, I don't do politics. Like, okay, chief, like,
oh yeah, I was just reading about Mario Lopez saying that because he got posted on something like Actors for Trump or something like that, like outed as a Trump supporter.
And haven't we known that forever though?
Right, like, I thought so too. And
I
then
thought that was kind of like
his response was like, his clapback or whatever was like, actually, I'm not political at all. Okay.
Sure.
Wow, you're
Thanks
worse.
for chiming in.
Sure can.
You're ignorant and a coward. Thanks, bud.
But the thing is, it's not ignorance, right? Because people who say that aren't really talking to anyone who's on this podcast right now. They're talking to people who they know just want the permission to like them, right? They want that permission. And like, I am all for, sometimes we gotta, turn off our brains, probably gonna play some, old school Doom the second this is done, or Overwatch, and, just turn off my brain for a bit. But some people don't like having to make that choice themselves or be confronted with the fact that that is a choice, I think.
Yeah.
That's one of the things I'm always very loud about on the internet, is that like being like, I'm going to turn off my brain, saying I'm not going to be political is a choice in and of itself. To say like, you're either lying or you're saying you don't care who wins. And that in and of itself is saying a lot, and just like own it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's also easy to say that when you're shielded with billions of dollars. So
exactly.
You kind of don't have to
class
care.
signaling at this point, saying, oh, I'm not political, I don't get involved with politics. That means that you live a life comfortable enough where like the system is working in your favor, so you are comfortable with the status quo. I cannot imagine. If it affects you, it is political. If you are being affected by it, it is political. Everything is political. So this whole like, oh, I'm not political, to me, it's just like bragging, oh, I'm dumb as fuck. Like, shut up. I don't.
And then I think there's also
pay attention.
The element when you've got someone like, there's some people who are far more current who say stuff like that. But there's also the fact that with Mario Lopez, like, you have an actor like that who is kind of like a nostalgia act at this point. Like, to be frank, like the last time he was big was doing like hosting, like, it wasn't
Entertainment Tonight.
No, it was like hosting stuff rather than like the career that he initially slotted into. And I think that some of that comes out of like it's what I call like the kitchen nightmares manager thing that people do to themselves, that like we always have to watch out for, where, that moment in every episode of like kitchen nightmares or any like makeover show where the owner is confronted with, you should change your menu, you should change what you offer. And they're like, but what if we lose the 3 people that we have? And it's like, well, those three people won't actually keep the door open, but if you change, other people might come in. And like I feel like when you get someone like Mario Lopez, you have that situation is really the heart of what's happening, right? That like he's like, but my fans are already the people watching Fox News. Like they are the people who remember when I was more relevant. So like I know that what I'm doing right now is being as inoffensive to them as possible.
Yeah, I feel and like someone like people are saying in the chat, like it really is to be able to say like you're not political is like it's one of the more, it's a gross privilege. It really is. Cause I mean, some people are, they're if you're a woman and you're like, I'm not political, like they're trying to take rights away from you and control your body. If you like, if you're, can you be, what if you were a trans person and you're not political? Like that's insane. They're trying to like remove you from existence. Like you have to be political. You have to, it's either like, if you're not political, you're not protecting yourself, you know? And to be able to be like, hey, I'm not worried about politics. Like it's gross. It's because there are other people in this world than us, right? Then there are other people that need protections, that need love, and that deserve those protections and deserve that love and deserve to be able to fucking exist. Before we get I like where the conversation's going, but we have one more guest to bring out. So real quick, and we'll get right back to it. He last, but he's never least. He's the co-owner of A Wave Blue World, and he is one of the reasons that all of these amazing creators are getting together to do this phenomenal anthology. It's a wild. Oh, hold on. I wrote something cool here. sorry.
I'm imagining that instead of being on paper or like typed up, it's actually just crayon on your hand, and you're pulling that meme. And they are, yes.
And my palms are sweating. All right,
arms. No, don't do it, Danny. Don't do it.
Say the thing.
No mom
Say
spaghetti. All right, we'll try this again. Finally, he's the co-owner of A Wave Blue World and responsible for getting all these creators together and launching a wildly pertinent Kickstarter campaign during a wildly pertinent time in American history. He's been here before, but we'll always take him back again. Let's bring him out. It's Tyler Gentana!
Oh, you wanted me on? Oh, I didn't realize I was just back here making spicy comments.
He specifically said, Blake, I'm happy to be here, but please focus on everybody else. That's why I waited 30 minutes to bring him into the show.
It's all
that was
good.
a long intro. That was a long intro. How you doing, sir?
Good. Yeah, thanks for having us all on. Yeah, I'm happy to just, be on screen if you want, or just continue the conversation. It's interesting listening.
Hopefully both.
Yeah.
We're all here. We all have opinions, and I'd like to believe they all matter. Hopefully no one's gonna don't get us canceled. But I don't think anyone's gonna do that. But yeah, as we were talking, it's a weird time in America, right? When I was younger, I never thought there would be people with swastika armbands marching around waving flags. I thought my grandpa fought in World War II against that, and as a world and society, we'd progress to be that was a pretty bad deal. We shouldn't bring that back. So all this stuff is happening, but not only that, we've got ICE agents doing whatever that they want to do. They're people's rights are in jeopardy. We never know what's going to happen, from day to day. I feel like tomorrow we're going to start another war because of a reflecting pool. We're one step away from Iran terrorists were the ones responsible for carving up the bottom of the reflecting pool, right? And it's just, there's all these lies and there's this narrative, right? There's a narrative, and it's terrifying and it's untrustworthy. And so I love that all of you have come together to build a narrative that pushes against that reminds people that no, everything sucks right now, but we don't deserve that. And we do have power, and we're not helpless. And one of the coolest things about this book is that you all tell these stories. You remind people that they have agency. You remind people that they have grounds to stand on, but you help them how to do it. You show them it's not that hard to contact your politicians. I will not lie. The first time I ever like emailed a politician was because a Kansas City account I followed posted a link and was like, if you don't like this, email these people and call this number. And I did it. And I was like, when you actually like give people like the number to call, the email to send, it really makes it a lot easier. You know, it's I don't know if it's guilt, like, cause it's just like, you got the info, now you got to do it. But where did that idea come from? On top of like, to tell these stories about this time in history, right? Because that's enough. There's power in that, right? Learn from example, you know, see from metaphor, see from the images, follow the narrators through the stories. But you went a step further and you decided to kind of make this like a political pamphlet, right? In a way. Where did that idea spawn from?
Yeah, you mean to add the resources and the
Yes.
guides and things like that. Well, it was an idea that Vita came up with when we asked them to join the anthology. They suggested that we put some resources in. Getting Greg Pak in, he has a lot of resources online that he's always posting. So felt like it came kind of naturally. And then as the stories came in too, we saw, like, just from the pitches, we saw what type of topics they were bringing up. And so adding resources, it's good to have a story, but if there's certain things that they speak about in that story, then providing resources for how to apply that, you know, in your own life just seemed to make sense. So yeah, it all just sort of came together. It started as a seed of an idea and just kept growing as more people got involved, and I just got more and more excited about it.
Joe's bringing up a good comment. There are a few people that just got arrested, like in like big time jail sentences, prison sentences, for spreading around a political zine that got like tied into to some riots where that cop got shot and stuff. Like with news like that coming out, I mean, obviously you're not going to pull the campaign and like run from it, but as creators, like, you're all in this, right? You've all told these stories where you're in one way or another kind of raging against the machine. What's it like to like see stuff like that in real time? And you're like, I'm also like creating narratives that push against actions that I think are wrong. And under a slightly different scenario, it could be one of you. Like, what is that like being a creator, you know, and dealing with seeing news like that? Does it make you want to be, like Danny said, does it make you want to be louder? Or you know, like, because I want to think that it would make me want to be louder, right? That it would make me be like, yeah, no, we got to do this, and like, you know, and get in people's face. But there's also a fear, you know. There's like, I can't. I mean, 30 years in prison sounds, that's terrifying for making a zine. So I didn't mean to interrupt you, Dan.
But I think that's the point, though, right? To scare you for stuff like that. And I think, you know, I mean, easily one of the most fascist things I've ever heard in my life, to give people more time. I think the lowest sentence that anybody got was 8 years longer than anybody from January 6th got.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like people who actually committed,
right.
People who committed violent acts. Some of the people weren't even involved in any of the protests. They were at home. You know, like they just had printed the zine. So it's going further than, you know, actual people doing the actions. It's just like, if you were even tangentially connected to it, you know, we're going to give you these crazy sentences, which I mean, I'm sure, yes, you know, there's legal, you know, recourse to take where you can appeal and all kinds of stuff. You still have to go through the whole experience. You still have to, you know, pay the lawyers. You still have to do all the stuff. So I think that's part of it, because that's all of Trump's lawsuits anyways, is all of them either get dropped or rejected or, you know, something like that. But the point is to put the fear into you and to make you, you know, say it's not worth to even try, you know, because of what could possibly happen. But on top of that, it's the same thing with everything, right? Where it's like, well, what's the reason? Why is this so important to them to repress the information? Why is it so important to them to make sure that people don't have access to this information? Why is it so important to them to make people live in fear, you know, of spreading information, of having conversations? And it's exactly that, is that, you know, they don't want any of this stuff to get out. And, you know, everything in this book and everything in that zine is information that you can find. Like nobody's spreading salacious information that's just kind of like, you know, this was like an anarchist zine. But like, if you've been on the internet, if you've been on any social media, if you were on Tumblr or like anything, like, you've seen most of
You've
this stuff
seen
before.
someone
So,
teach you how to protect yourself from pepper spray and
Yeah.
that kind of thing. Yeah, like it's very much a show of force against the exchange of ideas that would help us out of the situation that we're in now. They are cracking down on this material, and it's not just the tattoo artists. There were also people who were protesting at Delaney Hall. And because they had zines on them with, leftist rhetoric, they've gotten sentences for up to like 50 years. So I don't think that's actually going to stick past this administration, because that's, kind of usually how those things go when it's like this out of pocket. There will be a reaction to it. I'm sure the ACLU is getting very much involved with it as we speak. But the reason why fascists go out of their way to kind of try and tamp out this material or this kind of knowledge is because A, it is, the solution to overcoming oppression, and B, it's also helping people envision a better future. And we're easier to control when we are unimaginative and unable to think of what a better version of life could look like for ourselves. They don't want people to be able to do that, to imagine a better future for us all, because they want to be able to control us and make us live in fear.
And I think even to that point, right? Like the conversation we were having earlier about not being political, I think there's a lot of people who envision themselves as non-political simply because they don't have, or they feel like they don't have the tools or the knowledge or the information. It's a lot of stuff to keep up with. I don't know all my representatives and all of this stuff. But I think there's very small, simple, easy ways to be active politically in your community, including making zines to hand out to people, and so it's not even like, I think like this kind of stuff is just those first steps, right? Where it's just like, this is how you can get people involved and active into stuff. And so even just like clamping down on that out the gate before, people even decide that they want to get involved, because if you're somebody who's already an anarchist, like you don't give a fuck about it, like this is what you're in it for. So you're already like ready to go. But for the people who, again, and a lot of instances too, right? When you think about people who it's like, well, I have kids, right? So like I can't go to jail for 30 years. Like I have an elderly parent that's depending on me. I have all of these things that, it's scaring you off because you feel like, well, they're gonna get me next, right? Like even if I'm not even on the scene of whatever's happening. But if we allow that fear to overtake us, then that's it, right? Like that's exactly how an action takes place and makes people not want to get involved and speak out. But the more people that stand up and say that's bullshit, like I know people in Texas right now are pissed because of what's happening, because it's happening in their community. It's not a thing that's happening in the abstract, in another country or even in another state. It's happening in your backyard. And I think when people see that stuff, just like people in Minnesota saw that stuff close hand in person, that got people activated. Seeing stuff like this happen in your community in person is going to get people activated. So the hope is that it backfires, right? The hope is that this kind of stuff makes people actually more enraged and pissed off, on top of all the other things that you're doing that aren't helping people in their everyday life. Now you're going after people for it's literally the First Amendment. Like it's literally the thing that those kinds of people get pissed off about all the time anyways. So it's already a hypocritical thing, when they're like, my First Amendment rights, but like this is literally people's First Amendment rights. So it's not even a question.
And by the way, anybody there were some questions about were they charged, were they sentenced and stuff? Leah,
they were sentenced.
There's some
they were
links for
sentenced.
people.
I sent a link where you can read more about it. I try to provide material backing up the stuff that I say.
It's surprising how like and I'm also bad about it. It's you read something that looks like a real headline, and then all of a sudden like you get like swept up emotionally and run with it. It's like AI. I see a cute dog video and I send it to a friend and I forget to look closely to see if it's AI or not, and then my friend sends me a deal bag. He's like, "Why are you sending me AI slop, bro?" And I'm like, "I'm sorry, it was a cute video." But you know, it's similar to that. Like sometimes you see something, you get caught up in it, and you have to remind yourself, like, fact checking is important. I know a lot of people like to tell you it's not, but it is. Like a quick Google search, and you don't have, you know, it's not like you have to read like a whole book about it, but you can, a quick search can sometimes, you know, and it can make you look real good in an argument, because when someone's like, what's the source? And then you can say, like, I read it in the Atlantic or whatever, you know. Anyway, but are we reading the Atlantic anymore? That was probably a bad example, but whatever.
I feel like I'm going to take a slightly different take on things, because I am just a ball of anxiety and ADHD made flesh. So there are a lot of things that don't come naturally to me in terms of this, or not to necessarily say that it comes easily, but I feel like sometimes when we talk about, yes, it is a fact that in order to make change, we simply have to do these things, right? But that's different than it being easy for any of us to do, right? And I think that for me, like, I admit 100% to having like just paralyzed days of just anxiety and fear, you know, like, but then at the same time, to be blunt, I started having my name out in comics during the height of Comicsgate. I came into the industry with majority of my friends getting regularly, like, if not actually doxxed, almost doxxed. You know, waking up after a book announcement to see passwords to like a bunch of my streaming services being changed. Like, that happened at one point, you know, like, and so I came in where my personal life was already reflecting what was going to happen politically, if that makes sense. That the ways that I had to navigate in the comics space were, and the way I remember getting harassed and having like editors from companies send me guides on how to protect yourself on the internet from comic skaters, you know. And I know that there are plenty of people who came before me and hopefully will come after me that didn't have to get those documents from editors, you know. That was already the way that a lot of us were moving. You know, I've spoken, you know, about like talking with, you know, Leia about things and like being protected, but I know Jordan and I have also had these conversations. Like, we were moving, we came into comics in a lot of ways during the wave that caused what is happening now on the bigger stage, right? And so for me, this is always, I am a person who can't bring myself to make some of the phone calls that like I intellectually know that I should, right? But then that's why I participate in something like this.
I was going to say, like, that's a good segue into talking about the anthology.
Yeah, is that
speaks to a sense of urgency about stuff that you care about.
Right. And so it's the idea that, like, part of the reason I'm so loud online and so loud in my writing is because that is the way that I can fight against the anxiety that keeps me like shut in, right? I am a shut in cave gremlin unless I'm on the page. You know, once I'm on the page, then like you know, like I can fight for my stories and my collaborators far more easily than I can ever fight for myself. So comics is how I do that. You know, this graphic novel anthology collection is how I deal with that fear. You know, it's not like I do it in spite of the fear. That's why I'm doing it, you know.
To spin off into just a little lighter territory for just a moment. There's a lot of you are at, you know, big moments in your career. You know, there's Kickstarter is a different environment now. Bigger names are going to it. Bigger publishers are going to it. But this this anthology is surprising a lot of people with some of the names and talent attached to it. You really came out swinging with a lot of powerful voices and powerful voices with name recognition as well. How were you all like approached? Like, was it because how did Tyler reach out to you, or did he send gift baskets? Like, what? How did you all get roped into a Kickstarter project? Because I don't know if anyone's told you, like Kickstarter is amazing, but it's also a huge ball of stress. I'm looking at this room, and I know most, if not all of you, have an intense amount of deadlines that have nothing to do with this Kickstarter campaign. So, how do you get roped into crowdfunding?
The answer, I guess it's like a kind of a life lesson that I feel like more people who want to break into comics should realize, is that you don't know who knows anybody at any given time. Like, Tyler and I go back pretty far, like before Deadbeats, so being asked to do this project, I'm like, heck yeah, like, let's go, but I think that happens a lot in comics, especially when you get those anthologies and you're like, how is everybody on here? And it's just like, just because you don't see them like credited in the same project before doesn't mean that like we aren't trying to have each other's back, like
that we're not a community. It can be really isolating being a freelancer, but when my bestie Vita texted me, it was like, hey, can you do something for this anthology that I'm editing? I went, you're editing something? And I had like, an appropriate hype freak out about that. And then the answer was just like, yes, of course, obviously I will help out with anything you need. But I also think like it's really indicative. These kinds of anthologies are really indicative of the community spirit in comics, when a bunch of different creators are being brought together on a shared theme that's cohesive, that's clear. It's just one of the best parts of the job, honestly.
Nice. That makes me really excited, just because there's, like I said, I know Kickstarter is changing, and it's not only for like the indie or new, or well, I mean, the word indie has a wide berth, right? But it's not only for like the new voices. Like established voices can come there, find new audiences, and grow their audiences. But it was refreshing to see some of the people involved in this, like on the platform, and also like on the platform and not like attached to Image or Boom, right? And so it made me just really excited, because you never know. Like one of the things I love about comics is like you never know what's going to happen, right? When two people get together, or a bunch of creators get together and they start telling stories, and you get like you get all these hands in a pot in a wonderful kitchen. And so this campaign feels like that, right? There's like I said, a lot of people I've known I've followed for years, and I've read stuff from them, and I've seen how they are with fans, publishers, and peers online, right? And just like knowing that so many of you have so many like grand things to say. And
apparently they're also all very different too. Tyler, you can maybe confirm this, but Vita mentioned to me that all the stories are shaping up incredibly differently, and I haven't seen them, so I'm really excited to check them out.
Yeah, no, there's a great variety. We were wondering if we needed to push people in certain directions. That's why we asked for pitches first, but
we were all ready to run in our own opposite directions.
Yeah. All those unique ideas.
I figured that might happen, just because the basic premise is so unique, and being work for hire writers, we don't always get complete freedom. We're working, within the house rules of other places. So that was really interesting too.
For me, Jared sent me this email packet that was like super intense, with like Uncle Sam pointing at me saying, we need you for this thing. And I was like, all right, how do you say no to this? And that's how I got into it. But I think with this specific, because I did Deadbeats and stuff too. But with this specific anthology, it's the whole idea of like, I feel like I'm not doing enough, and it's hard to look around at everything that's happening and know what you can do, And I think this is just an outlet for that, really. and doing anything you can. Like everybody doing a little bit of anything they can to try to help out the batshit crazy situation that we're in might be what does it.
Yeah. No, I could see. I feel like that would be really empowering too. Like to be like, I don't feel like I'm good. I'm doing enough, and then kind of like build a narrative of that. Like kind of how did you're teaming up with Jonathan Hedrick, right, Matt? You and Hedrick.
Yeah.
Have you worked with him before? I'm sure you guys know each other
No.
from like the indie scene, but
No, this is the first time. But I liked his story a lot. His story specifically. I don't know how much am I allowed to talk about with the story.
Yeah. The concept. Yeah.
So his story specifically is about people in the military deciding that they don't like what's going on, and I think one of the big problems with everything we see happening on like the larger scale is that at least for me, I was like, why, like how come the military or people in the military aren't even, they're just kind of doing this stuff, right? They're just like, oh yeah, you want me to go invade this place? You want me to go, they're just doing it, right? And it doesn't seem to be any kind of like resistance to that, or resistance against it, or people standing up, and deciding that they're not going to be a part of this. And I think that's a really important thing to see happen. And that's kind of what the story is about. And it came at a time where I was like kind of really feeling that. And so, yeah, I mean, because of that, I decided, this is a great thing to be a part of,
That's so cool. I'm going to bring up the page real quick so we can see it. And as I scroll through this, so a lot of, I'm sure most people know this about comics, but some people don't. Some people don't know like how slow comics move. It moves like so slow till like things have to go to the printer, and then everything has to move at light speed and be perfect, and it's so like stressful. But you all have been working on this for a long time. This is going to predate some of the bigger headlines that kind of pushed people into urgency or pushed people into calling their politicians, or like in the before times before we saw people getting executed on live TV, right? So Tyler, where did this idea start? What happened months and months ago or longer when what clicked and made you be like, we have to do this at Wave Blue World. We have to tell this story, and we have to tell it this way.
Yeah, I mean, it was a lot of the things that we were seeing happening. I don't know how far to go back to what was motivating me to tell these stories. It's hard to say a specific point. I mean, it was after Minnesota before I thought of this stuff. I was just sitting around being like, because I had lost distribution and was setting up the new distribution, and they're like, oh, it's not going to start until 2027. And part of that was me just taking some time to like think things over and not just jump to new distribution. So I was like, all right, what should I do for 2026? And I'm like, well, what's on my mind? What do I want to write about? What do I feel compelled to do? What would bring like the passion of storytelling, of doing this project where I would want to spend as much time as I was working on it? And it just sort of came to me bluntly, like, we've got to tell stories of resistance, of pushing back against fascism, authoritarianism. The name Civil Disobedience came to me, and I was like, all right, that's it. Hopped on the phone with Jared. Danny was actually number 2. And just started asking people like, is this good? Do you want to do this? Is this motivating? Can we get some stories? And yeah, that's where I came from. That we just, I didn't know, because I think one of my pitches was like, I know this isn't going to be the solution, or I didn't, we're not going to come out claiming that we know how to like solve this, or like the book will make a difference. And I think some people push back on it, like, no, we can, like, the book can make some difference, in the world.
Absolutely.
We're doing, yeah.
I think that kind of thinking is really common too. Like people not knowing where to get started or how, and being intimidated by like the skill gap of the kind of life that they want to be living and not knowing how to get there. And that's one of the things that I think is so remarkable about this anthology, is that it is this really diverse collection of resistance narratives that show a multitude of ways to live your values.
Yeah, I think that's especially true when you are immersed in both civil disobedience, resistance, community work. There are a lot of things that become obvious to you that aren't necessarily obvious for people who aren't in the work. And it can be like, I remember one of Romancelandia, aka romance writers, especially on Blue Sky. A lot of them are very, very politically active. I think that they're actually doing like an auction right now for and like they do things like print out 3D whistles and all of that stuff. But I remember one of the first things that someone pointed out to me that like is something you don't think about, where it's like, okay, say you can't make calls, either you're anxious, you're not good on the phone, you physically can't get there. And someone, I want to say Courtney Milan, but I could be wrong, was like, well, the people there need water and pizza. So maybe you could order them pizza. Maybe you can order them, you know, a case of water, right? And that's the sort of thing that when you're in the logistics of community building, you think of as obvious, right? In the same, like when I was working on my story, it's very much about the fact that we have robbed teenagers of third spaces where they can be alone and together. And when you look at a lot of large political movements, a lot of them have involved the youth, because the youth were able to create subcultures, were be able to be together and form communities without having like people telling them exactly when and where they have to be and who they have to be all the time, right? And so making sure that, you know, helping to fund or volunteering for like an art after school program doesn't sound like you're doing resistance, but you're giving those kids spaces to be kids together, right? Especially when it is terrifying to figure out what to do, when more so than almost any other generation that we can think of recently, these kids were so isolated due to COVID and due to losing even the time in their second space in high school, right? Like they lost even having their time at lunch together, right?
And keep in mind too, like this is a really urgent subject for me too. There's that whole thing with Epstein siloing young people
Right.
online into the radicalized pipeline. So as we've taken away these spaces for young people to gather in person, they hang out more and more online because it's the only place that they have to hang out. And of course, that's where Steve Bannon and all of these like,
and that
you
can
know,
be good, but only if they
the
also
alt-right pipeline is waiting for them there.
Right. Like I think about, there have been teenagers that I have known, both as a teenager and as an adult, who, when they are with groups of other teenagers, are able to form the language, yo, that adult said what to you? Like, that's fucked up. Like, you can't be doing, like, we all know that one loud teen who was like, keep your hands away from her. Yeah. Right. And might get in trouble for being loud, but was the reason you understood that what that adult did to you wasn't appropriate. And literally because of both COVID and because of fascism and the manipulative, insidious things that have been done around video games in particular, that development was robbed from these kids, right? And so you then see again the rise of like say I was on Tumblr like for a while, and I know looking back I'm like, oh God, I behaved that way, but in other ways I'm like, there's so much stuff I learned, right? But it was also tempered by actually being around people like me outside. Yeah. You know, Jordan, to be able to have like a space where it's like, oh, back when arcades were bigger, you know, oh, an arcade that all the kids would go to, and you kind of knew all the queer kids hung out there, but none of the adults knew that that's what it was, you know. Or, you know, you think about all the major cultural move, because like for me, I'm very big on music in particular, is incredibly political, obviously, but like hip hop does not happen if you had made everybody go in at sunset. You know, like rock and roll doesn't happen if every single club actually managed to successfully route out everyone under 18. You know, like there's so much there that's like, yeah, that feels like 101 if you're already like have the big checklist of what you're supposed to do to be political. But like, that's a lot of people aren't even there yet, and it's really fun to bring people into that level.
A lot of what you're saying, I'm thinking about like what Jordan does as a librarian.
We don't have malls anymore. I'm sorry, chat. Mall rat. Malls are so incredibly important. Were so incredibly important to teenage development.
Yeah. It is. I didn't even. Yeah, we used to hang out. I was thinking about that the other day. Like I miss arcades. Right. I have a game. I have everything at home. I have like I can do. All the games at home I could want. But there was something magical about the arcades, and like even with all the new stuff, like shooting skee ball, like it was nice. It was fun, and there was like a magic there when your parents like dropped you off and picked you up later. Right. It was just like you were like still kind of supervised because there are adults that work here, but you're kind of on your own and you're in this kind of magical environment. We've danced around this topic of community a lot tonight. And Jordan, I was thinking about like you being a librarian and a lot of what Danny was just talking about and Leah about like how these communities are important, how a lot of youths have had their spaces taken. And I would never have thought like, like even if you're taken out of high school, like part of that sounds awesome, but also like, yeah, the seclusion in COVID like really wasn't awesome when we look back at it, like it was being forced to like turn into garage gremlins while and like never go out. It was weird. Anyways, Jordan, what do you think about community building, and how do you like because you don't want to like scare the kids, right? If you don't turn 18 and vote, we're all going to die, right? That's not going to get like a lot done, but like encouraging them to identify and find and go to safe spaces and bring their friends to those. And in my opinion, like a library is, like a library is a safe, comfortable, it's like a church, right? Without the gross stuff around it. And but what are you trying to like, I don't want to say like program kids, right? But you like to instill that,
to get them engaged,
to
engage them.
Yes.
Yeah, I think, my library is in walking distance of a high school. And so we have a lot of kids that come to the library after school. And we are that third space for them, a lot of the times where, they're able to come. We have a little room that's set up for them with computers and all kinds of stuff. And they go in and play games and hang out and just talk for a little bit. But we also do, we do throughout the summer, we're doing free lunches, but we also do lunches after school in general for kids who don't have access to food readily all the time. We have we're doing something tomorrow that I feel a way about, but I guess it's about that time. It's called Stone Age gaming, where they're going to play like PlayStation 3 and like
oh no,
Xbox. You gotta go older than that. Give them
that's
the
why
PS2.
I was like, Stone Age gaming to me is like NES, so
that's what I would say.
Yeah, I'm already feeling attacked that a system that I still have in my house is
they bust out the Switch one. There's the first Nintendo.
But I think what's interesting, specifically to what Danny is saying is, you think about, one thing I think about a lot is how, say something like a gang, right? Like if you think about the young lords in New York who are just kids, like they were in high school and they were like, man, they treat our community like shit. Like we don't have, places to go. I'm seeing the way that they're treating my grandma or, my younger sister or all these people. And they decided to make, they were a gang in the way that, we think about it today, but they turned into a political movement. And I feel like, in a lot of ways, in that way that like before you're 18, it's just like, politics, what is that for me? Because I don't have a voice, I can't vote, I don't really feel like there's a space for me in this. But even I want to say it was like 2 months ago, all the kids in the high school during one of the ice walkouts, like they walked out, and I feel like in some way, you know, stuff like that, where it's like, oh, haha, we get to like get out of school early, so we're gonna go, you know, do this. But I, driving by, like they were engaged, like they had signs, they were walking down the street, like it wasn't just a thing that felt like, you know,
They
an
care
excuse to
way
not go to class.
They care
Yeah.
and they know way more than a lot of people give them credit for.
Yes. Yeah.
Constantly, like that's
Young
why
people now are completely alien to older generations who have absolutely no reference for what it's like to grow up online in a social media surveillance state. Like they've literally built a world and a generation they can no longer understand or interpret. And the fact that like they're showing up at, I've seen, there was a Republican lawmaker in my state who showed up to a high school kid protest. These students, you know, did a walkout for ICE, and he went to confront the angry leftists and ended up assaulting a 14-year-old girl.
Saw that video. That was
It's
shit.
crazy. It's crazy. Like what's happening is absolutely batshit insane. And historians 300 years from now are going to be reducing this era down to its barbarism and the way that it hurt so many people at one time and allowed something like that to happen. But I think that's all the more reason why we need to stay extremely vocal about it now and continue producing works like that of Civil Disobedience.
I mean, I'll be bold and say I think that this happens every generation. It's just a question of what politics and new tech is happening. You know, like in the sense that like
this is America. We have always been like this, but the mask is off right now, and it gives us a chance to do something else.
You know, hippie generation didn't understand the kind of protesting that their kids were doing to a certain degree, and then they didn't understand. Like it goes back and forward in time. But the thing is, like right now, it's that there is a particularly powerful, insidious group of billionaires and politicians who have learned how to use the fact that the previous generation doesn't understand, right? Like, so they can use the fact that
it looks a lot
they didn't understand
like
COD,
the way that the craze was in medieval times around alchemy.
Mm-hmm.
Where they lied to the peasants about what it is and what it can do. There's a lot of that happening right now where it's just about wealth extraction from the lower classes, where these billionaires are like, yeah, AI is going to solve every problem. Buck your water, more data centers. Like it's all
and like
marketing,
there's this
smoke and lies.
There's also this wildness of how, because of the internet and because of the way that it allows for siloing people, especially with the formation of social media sites as opposed to websites,
community building,
is that with the siloing that's happening, is that I think a lot of people, especially older generations, don't know how much everything's connected, right? So like, say for example, my thing that I yell about all the time is you look at Kalshi, the gambling, like the poly market stuff, right? I can make a direct line from that from Call of Duty.
Right. And also the billionaires working with lawmakers to relax the
also Counter-Strike
laws about
Go.
it.
Because when you looked at the old CSGO stuff, when you would have the loot boxes, and there was, you know, back in the day, the big problem with CSGO gambling sites and their loot crates. A lot of the current gambling sites like Stake and stuff like that were actually founded by the guys that started the CSGO loot box gambling sites directly. Like And they
because they
yeah.
understood their marks. They knew exactly the audience that they planned on taking advantage of, and they capitalized on it. That's what capitalists do.
Yeah, and so, but a lot of people, because they don't understand gaming and internet, and it was that generation, while that was happening, the older generation there was like still like the internet is pretend. They don't actually like, there's like a gap in evolution there, you know, where they didn't see it happen. They're just like, how did all of this happen? And I'm like, I can explain to you right now how, you know, Trump being elected, Drake getting sued for everything, and also like a random indie game going large is actually all non-conspiratorially all related to the same stuff that's happening. But you need like projects like this that are like a big mashup of all of these, of all of our particular focus interests in civil disobedience, to start like making the lines connect.
By the way, I just want to shout out a couple people in the class, or in the chat.
Thank you,
Pay attention, students.
There will be I blame Jordan for that. Actually,
we got some star students in the chat that have been inspired by listening to you all, and some people have backed and then increased their pledges. So that's very cool. Yeah. Ian, what's up? Ian's in the chat. Great comic book creator. Yeah, so a lot of people have checked out this book. A couple people are saying, and I know you guys still got a ways to go, and a lot can happen in that final 48 hours. Though I've seen crazy magics happen in the final 48 hours of a crowdfunding campaign. But everybody in the chat, like, I appreciate you, but like let your people know. Like, honestly, like don't share the stream, but like there's links in the show notes to this campaign and everything. Like, share that. A lot of people don't realize like how much sharing affects the algorithm and stuff, and how free it is. It does not cost you anything to share that link. You know, and all it really does is help. But so yeah, appreciate the backers, but also like let people know this. There are a lot of voices encouraging change and encouraging better tomorrows for people, and it's happening in this book, and it's happening on Kickstarter, and it'd be really cool if people went and checked it out. You yell and get really loud, okay? Like, throw the guilt at them. Just, you know, if you don't back this book, America's gonna die, okay? Just
my
let
cat
them know.
will cry.
Let them know.
My cat will cry. It makes this really obnoxious noise that wakes me up in the middle of the night because I'm like, oh God, she's gonna be sick. That'll be what happens.
So that's
just a punishment for me, not for anyone else.
Yeah. You got to support indie comics. Keep the cats happy.
Yeah.
And indie kitties.
Yeah.
We prefer to do as much guilt-free encouragement as we can.
I guess we were raised differently, Tyler. Yeah. I was raised in a Catholic household, so I grew up with guilt.
So was my wife.
The guilt comes naturally to you. Like... The guilt is built in. Yeah.
It's okay. My wife's also Catholic, so I just get to hear all the juicy gossip, like how there was a schism last night. By the way, officially, a group chose their own bishops, and that's an automatic.
I didn't know that.
Expulsion. Yeah, I didn't either. Excommunication. Wow. Yeah, no, there's an official schism that just occurred like less than 20 hours ago.
Is it about AI?
It is that really conservative wave of Catholics who really hate Pope Leo.
Yeah. So it's about immigrants and AI.
It's about everything. And like they really have been like threatening it for a while, but apparently in like 3 a.m. my time, it officially happened last night. And considering our vice president himself is probably one of those Catholics.
He said something real shitty. I mean, he says something bad all the time, but he said something. He was like, my religion doesn't even have to worry about poor people.
We talk about every shitty thing the president and vice president.
Oh yeah, no, he was flat out like, my religion doesn't like broke poor immigrants. Yeah, but, like, it was slightly nicer than that. Okay. And I was like, you never mind. I don't like you anyway.
Well, it's the same dumbass who didn't know how to order a donut.
Oh my God. When you can't order a donut, but you can fuck a couch and run a country. Like how?
Everything JD Vance does is like an evil alien trying to assimilate into human life on Earth. Like he doesn't know how to do things, and I don't understand.
I get angry about him for the most pathetic reason, which is this site still exists, and it's like a full-on like bizarre. Like it still has like the scrolling side panels and everything. There's a hilarious old school parody site called Furniture Porn, which is exactly what it sounds like. There's no actual dirty things, but it'll be like a chair on top of each other, but it's like being advertised as like hot, juicy office chairs. Last time I checked, they actually did like stop motion with a couch and a chair. Like it's insane. And so I'm really upset now that like I can't even make reference to that site without like people talking about like the couch fucker. And I'm like, no, I am talking about the deep depths of the internet from
a
the
live
mid-2000s.
internet theory.
They took everything from us.
They even took the furniture porn.
By the way, Tyler, I want you to know it's been the conversation's been pretty heavy. And I queued this up and I've been waiting. I really like hot dogs, and I usually eat hot dogs during the show. It started as a weird thing, and holy shit, if my metrics didn't go up for me eating hot dogs on the show. It has been very damn near impossible to find a moment because the conversation's been.
Do we need to have a moment of silence while you eat a hot dog?
We do
a hot dog moment.
Okay.
I just want to know that it's just because it's July.
Makes me want a hot dog real bad.
Eat the hot dog. No, I'm sorry. That was a bad segue. But
anyway, what is everyone's favorite topping?
There was never going to be a good segue for that. I'm going to be so real.
We should just all nod our heads silently while he eats this hot dog.
I know. If we sit here silently and just watch, it's going to become performance art.
And then the longer he does it, like we all just kind of start doing other things, like pulling out our phones. Somebody just turns off the camera, but you kind of hear the distant like music that they're listening to.
I would do if this funds, I'll do a 10 dog live stream. It's fun.
Oh no, you gotta go full Joey Chestnut. You gotta.
What does that mean?
Who was my man? Was it Kobayashi? The like hot dog contest winner. You know who? I shout out to him for being alive. After
at that point, you just gotta do a. I will eat hot dogs until I can't.
Okay.
I guess
hot dog until failure.
my partner, she actually grew up with Joey Chestnut.
I thought you were gonna say with hot dogs, and I was like, okay.
Most of us grew up with hot dogs.
Interesting.
You guys grew up eating hot dogs too? Yeah.
Was he like?
Well, she was a
what was
vegetarian,
that?
so
best friends.
I was gonna say, what was that kid in Hey Arnold, where Hey Arnold had to do I think it was a pie eating contest.
Yes.
And then it was the other kid who was like the machine. It was ice cream. They had to eat ice cream. Was he like that as a kid, or was he like a normal person?
I mean, so his dad was a teacher, from what I know, or maybe still is, at the high school. And I don't know. I don't know if he ate a lot of hot dogs. I imagine he did. Well, yeah, of course
he had to prepared in some way.
I mean, he had to prepare. You don't just become.
What if he'd never eaten a hot dog in his life?
Yeah.
That's why he's so into them now.
He went from 0 hot dogs to
exotic
fruit.
Because what you don't know is it's actually embedded in everyone's DNA. They have an upper limit of hot dogs they can consume in life. And so when he ate them late in life, he actually got all the hot dogs in at one time.
Mm-hmm. His hot dog battery, or what do you want to call it? His hot dog.
By the way,
I just imagine just being hit with hot dogs now. It's a different battery.
A lot of people don't realize this. Yes, that hot dog had been sitting here for an hour and 20 minutes. It was wrapped in foil. I usually eat 3 hot dogs on a show. I ate 4 one time, and I got kind of the tummy rumbles. 3 is like the safe number of hot dogs. It's not the same hot dog. Some people have tried to be like, but it's the same hot dog. It just takes different bites. No, I eat 3. I usually eat 3 hot dogs on the show, which I added up the other day. There's 52 weeks in a year. That means if I only eat hot dogs on Wednesdays, I'm eating over 150 dogs a year. I'm gonna let you know.
You can only do 3?
I have questions for the viewers who are making your views spike, but only when you eat hot dogs.
I think my favorite thing is seeing your hot dog plate. You've like ripped it open. It's not even like a gentle. You're like I'm eating this
Yeah,
hot
no,
dog.
I had to get to the dog. But yeah, so the foil helped. But yeah, they
Foil
are
helped.
cold. There are cold dogs. People have been talking. They're like, Blake, you got to get a hot dog roller. We've talked about getting a hot dog roller and a hot dog cam for the live stream. Who's paying for this shit? I don't know. I'm monetized on Facebook. I get
Also, you don't want a hot
$6
dog
a
roller
month.
in the room because then it will always smell like hot dogs. And then when you have
So yes, I
eaten,
do.
no, because say you've hit your limit, say you've hit 3 or 4, you do not want the
They
room to
do
continue
make
smelling
hot
like
dog specific toasters for
Yes,
very
they do.
cheap on
I've seen
online.
those, yeah.
Okay.
I've seen those.
So you could theoretically get like a little desktop hot
I
dog
don't know if
station.
we're helping you.
I
I'm
feel
not.
like
I
feel
am
like I'm being helped.
Instigating. I am pushing you further down this dark hot dog mukbang path because I'm curious about where it ends.
But you also
I'm so
have to
glad
be-
you said
Everybody is.
mukbang because sorry for everyone. I was like, she's gonna say she's walking him down this hot dog hole, and I'm gonna have to exist in this world because that's what I'm thinking, and that's an
We have
awful
to-
sentence.
Like, out of all things to make your viewership spike, it's hot
Hot dog?
dogs, specifically multiple hot dogs.
I
Gotta
didn't
give
make
the
the
people
rules,
what they
Leah.
want, you
I
know?
still don't really understand how it happened. I used to drink. I don't drink anymore. But I used to get really hammered on live streams, and it would like that was kind of the deal. And it was like, how drunk can Blake get? And there was one night where I was like, we were talking about OnlyFans, and I was like, the only way I would sign up for OnlyFans is if I could get like money for like people could watch me like shirtless eating hot dogs watching Attack on Titan.
You
And
would make
everybody was
so much
freaked
money,
out.
first of all.
That's just art at that point. That's just performance art. It's living art, you know.
Maybe one day. I just don't.
Wait, I don't think we meant to convince you of this. That was not our purpose.
No,
Maybe.
but I
Maybe.
don't have a lot going on, chat. So you know, it's just, I'm right on the edge. No, that's. But yeah, so it used to be a bee thing, the buzz, the Blake's buzz, the little bee guy. I don't know how the hot dog deal took over, and then I worked for Comics the magazine for a second, and like I was gonna go to C2E2, and we were gonna do this thing, and I bought this hat that had a hot dog on it, and the whole deal was going to be like, find the guy in the hot dog hat and get a comics magazine. And then I left that job, and then so I started this. I was at Planet Comic-Con, and someone came up to me, Leah, and they were like, "I saw the hot dog hat from over there. What's up, dude?" And so I made a video.
So
and I
you
was like,
committed to the bit,
yeah,
is
I was
what
like,
you
hot
did.
dog marketing
Yeah.
works.
I respect that. I
I
very much
respect it,
respect that.
honestly. Yeah.
So,
You're out
yeah.
here innovating hot dog content.
I'm
When are you gonna get the
trying.
hot dog suit?
Trying to say, yeah. Again, the budget for the show is limited, Matt. We can only do. That's why we started live streaming. I'm trying to live stream the video games to Facebook to get more monetization.
To get the
up
hot dog suit.
The hot
get the
dog
hot dog
suit.
suit.
and the
That's
hot dog
specific,
budget.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's
These
the end
all
game.
beef dogs
Got to start
aren't
budgeting for
cheap.
hot dog. Yeah.
No. I really like that you all get this. I like that we've talked a lot about community tonight. I'm glad that we're all realizing that hot dogs are the key to that.
We're pro
just
dog.
remember, like I really do actually kind of subscribe to Danny's hot dog limit theory. Just remember that one of these days you're going to eat a hot dog and you're like, that's it. That's the last
It's
one.
going to turn off.
Can't
Your
do it anymore.
ancestors gave you that upper limit.
Yeah.
And you don't know what it's gonna be, but everyone has it when you eat that hot dog and you're like, oh. And you're like, no, did they always know it must be that hot dog? And then you try another one and you go, oh, they all taste like this now.
Oh, now I'm sad.
It's gone.
No,
Yeah.
you still have plenty
You
of
all
time.
gave me so much hope for like the future of our country, and that empathy is not a weakness, and that
Why would
communities-
talking about hot dogs make you not
Yeah.
feel that way?
Well, no, I'm scared like that one
Are
day
you
I'm gonna
saying
eat the
you
hot
wouldn't
dog and
give
not
up
like them.
hot dogs for democracy?
Hot dogs for democracy.
And if that happens, you can just switch to bratwurst. You know, there's other similar shaped
There are
foods.
more
Nobody's
tube-shaped
gonna know.
foods. But I do
After
like
we-
hot dogs for democracy is a good thing to live by. Oh my god, I dropped the dog. It flipped out.
After we finish this
Oh my God.
Kickstarter, we got to
That was a
It
wild
didn't hit the floor.
hold. That
It
was an
didn't hit the floor.
upside down
Yes.
hot dog hold. That was crazy.
That's a connoisseur's hold.
Someone who's
It's not
truly
my first
comfortable with
rodeo,
their
Danny.
craft.
I've been living this hot dog life for a while, several months.
Some people
I have to point
love
out
honey.
this really funny comment from Kurt Cole. There will be no hot dog chat kink surveillance, Leah. First of all, accurate call out. That's exactly where I was going with that, and you know it. Secondly, I just want to say to Blake's Buzz viewers, I know what you are. I know what you're doing.
We're all a bunch of sick little weirdos, but we love comics.
Well, actually, there's another comment that says,
that's
as a
just comics.
vegetarian, Blake's hot dogs scratch and itch. My GI no longer can handle, which is very wholesome and understandable.
I can somebody because my YouTube thumbnails have hot dogs on them now too, because I went with the bit. Branding is important, and so
Do you have merch yet?
no, I would. It's eventually we're gonna get there.
You need like incomprehensible hot dog merch that looks cool enough that people are like, where the fuck did you get that? Oh, it's this dude eating hot dogs online.
You just
talking
get like
about
a hot
comics.
dog bun, and then in like a classic like kapow type font, it just says comics, or like in the hot dog bun.
I keep every time I see Matt, I bring this up because I keep hoping he'll cut me a deal. But I'm joking, Matt. I would pay you real money. But I keep talking about having because of the bee guy having like getting like a bee that looks like me with a beard, kind of like my logo now, but he's eating a hot dog.
Dude,
I
I
think
do
that's
this
beautiful.
for you for free. Let's do it. I was actually about to say, let's get a GoFundMe going. Get Blake in a hot dog suit.
Next
Let's
thing you know,
do
your
it.
game,
Do it.
your game channel is now going to be a VTube, and your VTube.
Oh yeah, make it like a
burnt peanut?
what's it called?
Yeah.
Oh, gosh.
Subscriber benefit
Yeah,
for
that-
your Twitch,
oh.
where like a certain amount of subscribers, you do a stream in a hot dog suit.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And I gotta
You
go-
can
I gotta
have the
full
little
send it.
like bee eating hot dog emoji pop up whenever like someone gives you money.
Yeah, for
Oh. Are
donating.
Are you writing these down, Blake? Are you writing these down?
No, because I'm never ever gonna forget this conversation. until I die. That's the best night of my life. So, some of my favorite comic book creators are supporting my weird hot dog career, and I'm living for it. This
And
is
then-
my dream. This is happening right now.
Well, it's like enrichment for our enclosure. We've never heard of this
Yes.
before, and it's very fascinating.
Then
I
late,
usually have to
late
go to
stage-
Coney Island for this sort of conversation.
Mhm.
Blake, late stage, you got to do like a hot dog cookbook, like late stage career, like when you're
Oh,
ready
yeah?
to put it all behind you.
Yeah.
Well, but next
that
step
cookbook.
is you got to get sponsored by some hot
Yeah.
dog brand.
Maybe.
So,
We've
I don't know.
we've talked about that
Yeah.
on the EXP. We've talked about like
I don't know if
emailing hot
Nathan's is
dog
listening
companies.
or
Yeah.
yeah.
Just you got to write your memoir to all the hot dogs I have ate.
Mm.
Yeah.
Just this is why they pay
Oscar
us the
Mayer?
comic bucks, because
Yeah.
this is what our brains think of.
Workshopping hot dog bits for like 20 minutes.
For this podcaster I
Unprompted.
met an hour ago. I know we're building him a marketing plan for hot dogs. Thank you. These are real Marvel writers attributing to my hot dog takeover of America, and I love it. But no, that's you can see the kind of genius and inspiration and excitement when people get excited about hot dogs. They can usually get really excited. That's a bad segue, but they can usually get really excited about
You
comics.
Go
started
with it.
really well.
I know you had us
really
in the first
excited.
half.
I like hit in my head. It was like that's not going to work. But no, I
James
just,
in the chat got a good memoir title though. All hot dogs go to heaven.
Oh.
That one's real good.
Mm.
Oh my god!
but
that
I
is
do
good.
know that
banger.
where the hot dogs go after I eat them is not heaven. So
They're escaping.
they're dead. Yeah, eventually. But no, all this this chat has been both like really heavy and also really fun, and I love that all of you can have those kind of conversations around a topic like this. We can laugh at the idiocy and be scared of it simultaneously, and I always think that's important because like when I was oddly enough when I was a kid, my dad said something. He was like. My dad was always a real funny guy, and he would, like me now, I say stuff that maybe I shouldn't, but to try and make someone laugh, I will. And my dad told me, like, if it takes a special person to like make someone laugh at a funeral, and if you can do that, people will want you around forever because people need people like that in their life. And I feel like we gotta laugh about stuff sometimes. We can't just stress about it. We can't just think about it like ideologically or logically. You know, sometimes you just have to laugh about it and then move on or attack it from a different angle. And I like that all of you can do that with our current. It's scary out there, and it's especially as me saying this. I am privileged. I'm a white male. You know, and I know I have a lot more privilege than a lot of other people do. You know, and if you don't look like me or you know believe in a certain God, it's not as easy to
eat a certain number of hot dogs.
Yeah, you know, it's and not way more than 10, because if you say you're gonna eat 10 hot dogs, it's like right up to 20 or 30. So don't come in with that 10 hot dog bullshit. But anyways, I love
30. Sorry, I just want to know.
I could absolutely.
I
do
don't
30.
think I can do 30. I'd have to like fast.
Buns also. Hot dog buns with them. Mustard base
too. Yeah.
Give me a case of soda and I could probably do it.
Soda, not water?
That's diabolical, Danny.
Wow.
But also, I
I'm
believe you.
I am virtually I am just like coincidentally straight edge, and my thing is soda. Like my wife will be like, "Please drink some water," and I'll be like, "Fine, I'll drink some water."
Were you drinking Pepsi Zero earlier?
No, no diet ones. Those are nasty.
Oh, I thought you had a Pepsi Zero.
No, it's a regular Pepsi.
Oh, I'm diabetic. I can't do that anymore.
It's my one thing. It's stresses my mom out to this day, and I'm like, I actively am like, my favorite snack is like a bowl of grapes or strawberries. If my one thing is soda, just let me be.
No, there's worse. There's worse vices. All right. So everybody's talking about 30 hot dogs in an hour. All right. Danny, I don't know what your schedule's like, but I would invite you back if this funds.
If this funds, I will also come back and
do like a hot dog
pervert audience.
I sit and if I'm making myself hot dogs, it's probably 4 on average. So I don't think so. I will absolutely do this.
Oh, you've been training. Okay.
Tyler, you have to.
That's why I'm like 3.
Tyler, you have to change the rewards now. So add Danny will eat 30 hot dogs.
This is the weirdest. If this funds and gets 100 over goal,
I will play Balatro while eating so many hot dogs.
What a stretch goal!
Probably just do that anyway.
Well, I meant it. I'd welcome all you back, and if we want to have a big hot dog party,
all right,
to celebrate this. Because
it
makes me want a hot dog
real bad.
I
got that sound clip just for this show.
Do you have a hot dog soundboard?
I have a regular soundboard that has
a lot of hot dogs,
but not a dedicated hot dog soundboard. Come on, man.
I have 2 sound bites. I have the explosive audience, and then I want a hot dog real bad. That's all I got.
That's all you need.
Yeah. Thank you, Jordan. I appreciate your insight on that. This guy tells great stories. This was like I said, it was such a fun conversation. I knew the conversation was going to get heavier. I knew the topics were going to be big. Was not prepared for y'all to make me laugh as much as you did tonight. So it was. I think I liked the way the conversation went, and you know. There was a Facebook comment that I mentioned in the green room that I thought Tyler dealt with very well. I would have said several different things, but I appreciate you, Tyler. You're a good dude. But you know, I'm glad that we are still in 2026, and most of us know that the personal is political. Okay, your body is political. What you believe is political. What you read, what you see, what you feel, it's political. And to run away from that and pretend like we don't want that in our media, or that we should be blind to it, or that acknowledging it takes away our enjoyment of a subject, that's infantile and ignorant. And I don't think that conversation has anywhere to be in comics anymore.
Honestly, anybody who thinks that politics aren't in comics do not know the history of comics. I mean, like straight up, like it has always been that way. It's always been kind of like counterculture media, and people do things with it that they can't do on TV or in video games, even stuff like that. Like that's the whole point. At least for me, that's the whole point. It's always been like that. There have been some of the first stories that you'll find out of like World War II and stuff talking about concentration camps and stuff was in comics. Like
Mm-hmm.
if
If it
somebody
wasn't
thinks that,
political, they
just
wouldn't
don't
have
know.
needed the Hays Code.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh wow.
No, I mean,
that was
y'all
a great
would've-
point.
Would have hated Stan Lee. Stan Lee took out
Yeah.
a back page in every Marvel comic and a
Yep.
soapbox just to flame people.
Mhm. EC
Just to
Comics.
let you know you were wrong.
A Nazi came to Marvel one day when Jack Kirby was working there, and the threat was like, come outside and say the shit that you say about us Nazis to my face. And then Jack Kirby was like, okay. And then he went downstairs and kicked his ass and then went back upstairs and got back to work. Jack Kirby did that.
That's so cool. I love like it bothers me because my grandpa fought in World War II and he got some medals, so like I know he was in some shit, but he told a couple stories but never really talked about it. And like he went there, he was overseas at 17, like fighting, and so that's just crazy. And to like I don't know what if he was still alive. I know most of the World War II veterans, most of them have gone now, and it's just like to see that, to be that young, that scared, sent overseas, fight for your country because of this thing you believed in, or because you got drafted, or both, and then to like know that you won, and then to like turn on the TV and see this marching in the streets, like it's disgusting, and yeah, it's we need movies to remind us about it. We need literature to remind us about it. We need pop culture entities to remind us about it. You know, comics, zines, reels, shorts, weird animated shorts. We need a lot of this stuff because it is going to be studied later. Literature and projects like this are going to be studied, later. Like how did Americans get past this? Or it may get worse, right? And what movements in culture and counterculture led to, to get America out of this like fastest grip. And if you say that I'm full of shit, that there isn't a fastest grip on our, like, I wish I could be that ignorant. Like, good God, I'm a large man and I'm over 40 and I'm cramming hot dogs down my throat. I know I'm not the smartest dude in the world, but at least I know that. So it's crazy. And I'm so happy all of you are doing this project. And I know you still have a lot of ground to cover. And I know it's been a lot of work, and I know there's probably been a lot of comments like the Facebook guy we're talking about. And so I know this is gonna sound real cheesy, but I'm real proud of you all. Like in a time where like we talked about earlier, people are trying to scare us into silence. It's important to be loud, and this project is loud.
I would lay up it in the.
I wanted to make sure that we end on
Thank you. Is
a
it not
happy
the-
note.
It is.
Posterity, yeah.
I love it. I
It is-
linked the furniture porn site, not to
We're gonna put
completely
it in the chat.
The
undermine.
fact that it's still
Blake's
people are like
sincere
dead
outro
internet,
here.
everything's gone, but furniture porn still lives, and it is incredible.
I'm
It is
actually
just-
stoked to check it out. I thought I knew a lot about what was online. I'm online way too much, but this is a new, entity.
I used to be like a true lurker on like something awful hell dump. Like, so I know all the like the most random things. Like I was back on something
my
awful when
God.
Slenderman was created. Like,
It's good, right? The furniture
oh
site.
my
It's so
God.
fun.
Hot
So
outdoor
classic.
action.
It's such an amazing website, and it has existed maybe longer than 20 years at this point. Like, I was in high school, I think, it's listed as 1992
Wow.
God
Nice.
to
bless.
2000, and it is
Amazing.
so funny. It still says contact the webmaster.
I didn't even
I
know the internet
just-
was around that long ago.
No, like it's ridiculous. It's probably just straight up like 2000, and they're just absolutely bizarre. But I have watched from it being like less of this stuff, and then I remember one day, does that say stop motion? Did they make a video?
I think that there's a lot of this stuff out there still. I'll send you links. I don't want to like go down another rabbit hole, but I have toys to show you. I
Oh
have
my
more
gosh.
websites that I'm gonna DM you after this.
This is gonna be amazing.
I always love the fun stuff that gets uncovered in a Blake's Buzz episode. Everybody's always like, that dude's weird. He just yells and eats hot dogs all the time. I build community and friendships here. Everybody in this chat is stronger because of this
hot dogs. It's furniture porn, and now I'm questioning the community we're building. But that is okay.
The hot dog based culture community that we're building.
Danny, it takes all kinds. You know?
I feel like my wife said that to me today in reaction to some nonsense I said. That's like when she just says if you're happy, I'm happy. And I was like, oh, it was that bad, the thing that came out of my mouth? Okay. She's like, I don't understand, but if you're happy.
That's a good partner. That sounds like a good person to be around. I know I talk a lot and I'm long-winded. So because I'm such a wonderful, gracious podcast host, this is going to be the part where I shut up and I'm going to go around the room and I want all of you to let us know. Obviously, there's the link in the description for the Civil Disobedience project. You can click on the show notes, go to the campaign and support it. But a lot of you have other really cool stuff going on. I'm sure a lot of people would love to hear about it. If you've got mailing list, websites, Substacks, anything we can sign up for, anything we can give you money and support you, or be selfish and shout it out. Jordan, let's start with you, sir.
Oh, hey, all right. I'm Jordan Clark. You can find me on the internet at JRSosa18, JRSOSA18 on all the social media sites. Ancestral Recall is my thing that has come out in a collected edition not that long ago. Hey, there you go.
My hobby.
So that's my first creator-owned project. It is in the world now, so wherever you get your comics, you can go and pick that up. I will also shout out, I have 2 stories in upcoming EC Comics anthologies, the Catacombs of Torment, coming out in August and September. And then you can also, if you like podcasts and you're just looking for another wild thing to listen to, my podcast is called White People Won't Save You. It's a podcast where me and my friend talk about white savior films and reimagine them with people of color at the center of them. So we've talked about everything from Green Book and Driving Miss Daisy to too many white Karate Man movies. So
have you guys done Dangerous Mind yet?
Yes.
Okay, find that one.
We have done too many. It's
This sounds amazing.
Yeah, it's my burden now that we have taken on. Also, White Man's Burden. If you have not seen White Man's Burden, this is a movie with Harry Belafonte and John Travolta that he made right after he made Pulp Fiction. It's the log line is in a world reversed. And so white people are black people, whatever that means.
It's a knots and crosses thing, isn't it?
They don't explain what it means. They don't explain how it happened or what's going on, but it is one of the craziest movies. John Travolta does eat a hot dog in that movie. And they have a whole conversation about putting salt in your ketchup, and it's some kind of cultural exchange. It's insane. But these are the kinds of movies that we watch. So if you'd like to hear us talk about them, you can check out the podcast.
That sounds great. I'm totally checking it out. And I don't remember the hot dog, but I remember that movie. That's a heavy movie. I saw that when I was a kid. I remember asking my dad, is this really what it's like? And my dad was like, yeah, we're not really great white people.
No, I had to. We had to get it on DVD. We had to buy a physical copy of it because you can't stream it anywhere.
Oh wow, that's digital rights, right? There's a whole deal, right? Because Sony just took 500 films off their catalog, and a lot of people paid for stuff. And it's just there's a new. It's very strange. There's a new argument for piracy now, and it's like you shouldn't pirate,
especially
books.
Today.
Right. It's because it's you don't want to own it, steal it. Don't pirate comics though, because you're a little asshole if you do that, because that's different. Steal from Hollywood. you wouldn't steal a car. You wouldn't steal a comic book.
Yes, I would. Wait, I didn't say that. Never mind. Would you download a house? Yes.
In a heartbeat.
It's
Yeah.
called 3D printing, guys.
Download a house with an office and a studio and a basement. I live in every
all the
day is a tornado warning in Kansas City lately, and we have a crawl space. And like, I would rather die in a tornado than get down in that spider-ridden crawl. I don't even know. None of us know what is down there. And
Especially
so, yeah.
after a hard night of hot dog eating.
Right, hard night of hot dogging, stuck in a crawl space, shitting yourself. That's terrible. Like, who wants that? I know I added the last part, but that's where we were going.
You're like, but that's the most important, really, when you think about it.
Yeah.
The most upsetting.
When you get stuck in a crawl space, you're gonna shit eventually. Everybody
Like
poops.
reverse manifesting.
Yeah, but before I cosmically ruin my future, let's go to somebody else. Danny, where's the best places to keep track of you and follow you and all that good stuff?
I am always being incredibly loud about either writing craft, K-pop, or retro video games over on Blue Sky. My username is WereDogs, WEREWA. I have never fucked that up before, so we're going to rewind. WEREDAWGZ, because I have a brand and it's werewolves. In terms of things of mine that you can read, heavily recommend. I wrote a novella that is co-written with Janelle Monáe in their book, The Memory Librarian, with a bunch of other really incredible Black writers who are either women or non-binary. And then also there is Bloodline, who is Brielle, daughter of Blade, over at Marvel. Those are probably top things I would recommend off the top of my head right now, and it's totally not because I looked over at my shelf and those were the first two I saw, but we can pretend like I didn't say that out loud.
I feel like authenticity and honesty do well on this show, so we're on the right path.
You've certainly cultivated a vibe here.
Thanks. I try. I know I'm weird, but I mean, usually everybody feels comfortable and has a pretty decent time on the show. Like, and no one's ever been like, Blake was boring or Blake didn't have anything to talk about. So at least I got that going for me. I never shut up and know a little bit about comics. So we can usually, if we get in the weeds, I can usually pull us out. I've always told people that too. Like, when people ask me, like, if they start a new podcast or ask me for advice, and I always tell them, I'm like, be real familiar with the guests, but like, don't lean on that. Like, have fun with them, joke around, tell stories. And if you kind of run out of stuff, then you go back to the book. If you feel a little lull, then you bring it back to the book, and then hopefully the conversation spins off.
Eat hot dogs, right? That's
the
last.
Find your food.
Yeah.
Find your food.
Find your food crutch and lean on it. Lean on it hard. Matt, what about you, bud? What do you got going on? Oni making cool zines, doing awesome stuff.
Yeah. So probably like the coolest things I'm most proud of that you could find is in Barnes and Noble or whatever, bookstores. Is I wrote a Batman story that I'm really proud of. That's in Legends of Tomorrow as part of the Brave and the Bold. I just finished this not too long ago. This is a self-published comic that I'm doing. You can find it on my website, matthardingart.com. If you are going into San Diego Comic-Con, Rose City, or Cape and Cal, you could get one of these off me. It's just like a little fun fan thing I did of Star Fox that I'm only handing out at conventions. I have a story I wrote for Disney coming out soon, Inside Out. I'm not exactly sure when it's coming out, but sometime soon. But look, what your viewers want to hear is this. Tomorrow, I'm probably going to be going to Costco. All right. I'm going to have $1.50 in my pocket. I'm going to go up there and I'm going to get the $1.50 hot dog combo. And I'm going to eat the whole dang thing in one sitting. I'll put some relish on there.
Could you
Some
imagine if he
catnip.
didn't eat it in one sitting though? If you like took 3 bites and put the rest in your
I'm
pocket?
Yeah, put it in my
taking the
pocket
rest
and run
home for
home.
later.
Okay, but that sounds like my younger sister back when she was in kindergarten. So she's 3 years younger than me, so she's a grown woman now. But we were walking down the street one day, and my mom, you know, she's a little kid with allergies, so my mom is like, "Let me go in her pocket and grab tissues." She reaches in my sister's pocket and pulls out a little Ziploc bag of fried chicken skin, and my mother goes, "Desiree, why is there fried chicken skin in your pocket?" Because she was just starting it was very early on in kindergarten. She looks in all sincerity and goes, "The fried chicken was so good, I wanted to bring some home for Dad."
Aw.
But
Aw.
she has a long history in her childhood of just she liked food, so she put it in her pocket. She never had food insecurity. We ate quite a bit, but she just really liked bringing the food with her.
I did that with bugs.
Thank God
Mm.
she picked one or the other.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would have done the bugs, but my mom was not a fan.
Neither was mine.
By the way, Mad Cave's David Hazan is in the chat saying he has a complaint.
I was wondering. I'm so curious
I
about
would
this
love to know
comment.
what
Yeah.
that was. And then we have an opposite.
Please
of
let it
complaint.
be not enough hot
It
dogs.
probably will be. Also, he needs to come back on the show. I haven't talked to him in a long. I miss you, David.
Is
Tommy
he by the
Tommy
horns?
says, "What
Is
did
he
you
the
say?"
by the horns guy? Am I thinking the right guy?
No, that's Marcus on.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Wow, Matt. You make me look bad. in
Oh,
front of the
God.
crew. No, that's cool. We
Nottingham.
I'm just kidding with you. What about
This
this?
is the Nottingham, David. That's
Whoa.
what
Nottingham. Yeah.
Mm.
Nottingham. At least I knew your name and what book you wrote, sir. Like, yell at Matt, not me. Continuing with our where to get cool stuff from y'all. Leah, what all do you have going on at Ignition and elsewhere, and where do we follow you and get your stuff?
I'm working on a couple secret things that haven't been announced yet, but I'm super, super excited about. One is going to be my next book with Ignition Press, and it's a cyberpunk horror book about a headless woman. And I am also working with the Wonder Woman office at DC for the first time and co-writing a one-shot with Stephanie Williams, who's also participating in the anthology.
Sick. I love
So-
Stephanie.
I do too. And we're having a blast with this. I'm really proud of the work that we've done. We got way too ambitious. And I think that, working
only too
together, we
ambitious
ended up with it.
If it doesn't work.
Right.
But it
And I
works,
think it is. So you can pre-order that now. It's called the Matriarch Special. And I stream on Twitch. That's the best place to find me. X-Men Comics. I'm also X-Men Comics on TikTok and YouTube, and I've had that username since before I wrote any X-Men comics.
Do you
Just
like
as a
do you
fan.
game, or do you get on and just like talk comics in the industry?
Game. I play games, not well, but
Okay.
yes, there is stuff to look at while we're talking about comics and
Cool.
the industry and whatever else. A couple of our community are in the chat here today, and it made me really excited to see. I'm like, oh my god, my friends are here.
Williams twins, unite, loving that. I'm stoked to see. Stephanie's having such a crazy, amazing year and doing some
a historic one,
phenomenal-
even.
Well,
yeah.
historical with the Eisner nomination, yes, and but just like from Street Sharks and Wonder Woman, and just she's writing some really great comics. To see her
And is one of
recognized.
the genuinely coolest people in the entire
She
industry.
seems
Mhm.
real
Yeah.
cool. She seems like very real and very, very cool. She seems like
She absolutely
Absolutely.
is.
Just like on that list of people in the industry where it's like if they called and were like, I have an emergency right now. It's what do you
Yeah.
need?
hell yeah. Tell her how much fun you had on the show, and I would love to interview her. I'm just okay. You don't have to do that, but yeah, I've been a fan of her writing. So yeah, to see her having this amazing year, and I love what she's done with Wonder Woman. She's been tinkering around over there, like with the crossover, like a couple years ago, and doing like some other stories and stuff with Tom, and like I'm very excited
Now
to
she's
see.
doing issues 35 and 36 of Wonder Woman. She's writing those, and our special kind of dovetails out of those. So I don't know. It's really exciting to work with material from somebody as brilliant as Stephanie, because she's so community focused herself, and she's really aware that she's in a shared sandbox, and she's like, okay, so let me make sure Leah has some toys to play with in her story for what I'm setting up. Like, she's just absolutely brilliant.
Awesome. Again, when you're having fun with your co-creators, like we as readers, like we can see it in the pages, and the reading experience, it multiplies. It's just you can really see that magic happen when the co-creation, I was gonna nope. I almost did a juices flowing deal, but I was like, that's gonna sound weird, so we're just not gonna do that. But
as opposed to anything that was said this evening.
Yeah,
right.
As opposed to all the normalized hot dog chat and
People
Like,
are looking at
creative
porn
juices
right now.
flowing is an existing phrase in I think all of our minds. We know what that means.
Creative hot dogs rolling.
There you go. There you go. Let's get these creative
hot dogs
rolling.
rotating. Oh,
Speaking of rotating hot dog grease, Tyler, what do you got going on over in the world?
Real fast, I see Kirk Cole in the chat, and I wanted to mention, you didn't mention the trade paperback of the series coming out.
Oh, right. Thank you. I'm sorry. This is my first creator-owned book. I've written for Marvel and DC for almost 10 years, and this is my first original comic book that came out this year. It's called Voyeur. It's a spicy art heist from Ignition Press, and the trade paperback, the collected, all 5 issues, will be coming out in August. It's available for pre-order now. Thank you, friends, for the reminder. I'm not great at talking about this stuff.
This is the cover to number 5. This is the coolest cover ever.
The reason to go on podcasts with friends is because they'll remember the things you've done, and you don't have to.
It is helpful. And also, like, everything, I haven't read everything that Ignition's put out, but I've read a lot of it, and it's banger after banger after banger. It's just like, I've had conversations with people, and we've like laughed about it. Like, are they ever going to slow down? Like, or like eventually they're going to put out something that just isn't like,
it's
just
called
everything.
Ignition.
Yeah, it's awesome. It's great. They do great stuff. So yeah, I'm stoked for that trade, and excited that you have something new coming out with them, Leah. That's exciting. We talked about that when I met you in Kansas City. I was so impressed because they had this huge presence in Kansas City. They had this great lineup of creators and a cool Ignition sign that lit up. But what I thought was really cool was they brought in custom chairs for like all the creators. So like all the talent had these like not con chairs. They had like cushions.
We had
on
very
them
comfortable, high backed like armchairs. Yeah.
I was like, you guys get it. They know what the, so, and everybody like echoed that. Like I mentioned the chairs, and it was like, it's not just the chairs. Like like Leah, you said, like you just constantly felt like empowered to like tell all the stories you wanted, and you just like always felt at home, and felt like you were part of the team. And all the creators said that, and just when you hear all these horror stories about a lot of indie publishers, or some indie publishers try and do too much early on, and that doesn't end up. And it just seems, I love the success they're seeing. I've known Jeremy for a long time, and he's great people. So I love that all you guys are just killing it, having a great time, making amazing indie comics over there. It's super cool. But yeah, speaking of hot dog grease, Tyler, back to what's important. Where's the best place to keep track of Wave Blue World? You guys have the new art center and stuff too. Like how do we keep track of all the cool stuff you got going on?
Well, I mean, if you're in Brooklyn, I've got an art store, creative center, a bit of a third space with art supplies, WC Art, in Brooklyn, in downtown Brooklyn, if you're in the area. If not, awbw.com online is the website for Wave Blue World. And then either a Wave Blue World or Tyler Chintanner on Instagram. Where else am I? Blue Sky, TikTok, I do my best at. Facebook. Find me either of those places.
And I highly encourage you to do so, because A Wave Blue World is a very phenomenal publisher, a lot of great voices, strong voices with a lot to say. As you can see in this new project we've talked about tonight, Civil Disobedience is live on Kickstarter. It needs a bit of love. Pass this thing around. support it. Like, help put stories out into the world that want to make us better Americans and make our country better, right? It's just, it sounds good all around because it is. There's a good cause behind this. There's a great community behind this. Put your dollars where it can really make a difference. And that really can happen on Kickstarter. A lot of great things can be bought inside a comic book shop, but when you back a Kickstarter campaign, you're supporting these creators directly, you're supporting a Wave Blue world directly, and you're supporting, you know, you're supporting people that are getting kicked and punched down on daily, right? They're trying to rage against that and help lift these people up and encourage us and teach us how to help lift those people up, right? None of us are helpless. We can all do things. Nothing's too small. Even if you donate $1 to this campaign, the dollar helps. It gets the algorithm going. I'm telling you. Just check it out. Support indie comics. Be a hero. Everybody who was in the chat tonight, thank you so much. The chat was popping. Great questions, great comments. This panel was absolutely phenomenal. I had such a great time talking hot dogs and comics with you. This is the only hot dog flavored comic show in the world, probably. And remember, love more, hate less, read comics. We'll be back next week. I love you.